everybody. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Bryan.
And this is Bryan versus Bryan, episode 89. The Northman. The Northman. March 20. Oh, that's the international release date. Of course, they get it a little earlier. United States release date, April 22nd, 2022. And we have both watched it very recently. Me yesterday, and you watched it Friday. So Friday, Saturday. What's that guy's name?
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers, your boy.
My boy.
Your boy! I don't know anything about this motherfucker. I know of him, and I know the Lighthouse buzz and Oscar nomination. That's about all I knew. I had to look up the other one, The Witch or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then I seen that's all he did. He's a lot of production design stuff, though. So obviously that's where his looks come from. He kind of that's where it started, right?
I know it's kind of silly to say he's my boy after only 2 movies. Typically, kind of have a little bigger filmography for someone to be your boy. But what I like about him compared to other people is that he, like watching a lot of interviews with him. I like that you can tell that he doesn't like doing interviews. He just doesn't really give a fuck, and he's kind of blunt about it. But another thing I like about him is he is like very meticulous with the research. So like in particular, The Witch and the Lighthouse, like everything you see on screen was made during the time. Like he's very like OCD about that shit. Like that costume, no. We got to do it in the way that they would actually do it in the 1800s or whatever. And by doing that, the worlds that he creates are very engrossing. Like you feel like even the Northman, you feel like you're actually in that time period, especially with the Lighthouse and the Witch. But yeah, I love his movies. They're very fucking weird, all of them, and they're just so different than most of what's out there. And I was really looking forward to the Northman. It was, I think, going into 2022. There were 3 movies that I knew about that I was really hyped on. It was the Batman, the Northman, and Mission Impossible. But Mission Impossible got pushed till next year, and I slit my wrist when I heard that. And then I quickly recovered. I'm just kidding, everybody.
The Batman, the Northman, and the Mission Impossible.
But no, the Northman I was very excited for. I was very much anticipating this.
Yeah, right on. So I didn't know anything about him. Lighthouse didn't look like something I would want to watch. Looked so indie and just 2 guys in a lighthouse. But William Dafoe's awesome.
Yeah.
And now after watching this, I do want to see it. And the other one, The Witch, to just see what that's about. From my gut feeling, I feel like I'd like The Witch more.
Yeah, I think
something about more suspense and scary. I think I'd probably prefer. But
yeah,
we'll
out of the 2. I think The Witch is a little more accessible. I think The Lighthouse is my favorite of his. But even he admits that like The Lighthouse has no plot. I mean, it's literally like 2 guys in a lighthouse just drinking and having a fucking weird time, and there's supernatural things happening, but you don't know if it's real or not, and like there's conflict between one another, but really there's no plot. It's just like them hanging out in the lighthouse. But if you're interested to watch it just because of William Dafoe, then I would say 100% watch it, because I think that's my favorite William Dafoe role outside of maybe Goblin. He is phenomenal in the Lighthouse. It's really good.
I know Goblin has become one of his best roles.
Yeah, because he's so good in it. He's awesome in that movie.
Yeah, rewatching it is just it was so good. Like I was saying, listening to the actors talk about him on set. Mm-hmm. Like when he says that shit. Gods don't ask, we take, Parker. I was like, oh man. All right, so Skarsgård had wanted to make a Viking movie for some time. This says, oh no shit, you're always playing a Viking, bro. And so, like I said, this is kind of weird because he's a vampire in True Blood, but he had been around since he was a Viking when he became one. And his name was Eric Northman, and
nice.
He's a Viking warrior, and now he's a Viking warrior again in The Northman. Kind of strange. And then budget of $70 million, shot a bunch in Ireland. Beautiful freaking movie. Yeah. It looks pretty awesome. And yeah, like you said, it uses like I don't even know what you call it, Nordic, Slavic letters and all this stuff, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's very periody. Um, so of course they have it's a basic Viking story, right? Your dad is a king and he gets killed by his brother so he can take the throne. It's your basic Lion King plot.
Yeah.
And then you got to go on. You got to go away. You got to train up like Batman. Your basic Batman plot, and then you got to come back and get back to where you were without people knowing. Your basic Bruce Wayne plot. You got to be a playboy billionaire or slave in this case, and then you got to kill him. But the way they went about it was very interesting. I thought it was not how I pictured this movie going from like the trailers. But first off, we start off with the kid, and it gets into it pretty quick. I liked that. For how slow it can be in the middle. The beginning starts off pretty good. With dad comes back from conquering, and he realizes he needs to get his son ready. And then Nicole Kidman, the mom's like, "Well, no, he's just a puppy." And he's like, He was the age of my grandfather when he became king. He's like 9. Like, what? Your grandfather had to kill your uncle, though.
Yeah, she says something like, "Yeah, but your grandfather had to kill your uncle or some shit." Yeah, like, Jesus.
Like, damn.
Fucking brutal.
So he takes him to Willem Dafoe, the sorcerer, on site, and they have some of the what they call it. It's like the vision juice. It's just like mushrooms floating in the water, and they act like dogs and get down, and I thought that was just ridiculous. Like, do as I do, and he goes into the room. Starts acting like a dog. The kid just does it really well. Yeah. I was like, I'd be like, this is strange. Before
I don't know about this, Dad.
As a kid, before you commit to something, you doubt everything as a kid. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just fully dog mode. And they're drinking the water, and then it has these crazy visions. He's all talking to the kid. If someone kills me, you will avenge me. I will. Promise. I do.
Like shows him his wound and like pushes his hand on him. I like the visual though of like the family line. It, like goes into his body and it like kind of.
And the heart. Yeah, that was pretty. That
was kind of cool.
Pretty nuts. And Willem Dafoe was pretty awesome in this. Kind of goblin-esque.
He's so off-putting because it's shot like all their close-ups, and he's just like going on his spiel. And he's like really creepy.
And it'll flash, and it'll like be darker and then lighter, and like have a beard and have no beard and types of stuff. It's really strange. And then, anyways, that's like very beginning of the movie, and then they leave the little hut, and they're kind of next day. It's kind of like when you're leaving a party when you spent the night and you're hungover, and they're like, "Yeah, that was awesome, Dad. All right, good bonding." And then it's just like arrow hits the dad. I was like, "Oh shit!" Bunch of arrows hit him. That was a brutal. Like he just hit with a bunch of arrows.
Yeah.
Motherfucking guys come over, just fucking spears on every angle. Just ow!
Like 7 arrows sticking out of him and shit.
Yeah. Oh, you're stabbing me. Ow! I already have a wound there. And they stab the shit out of him. And then he tells the kid to run. He runs and hides behind a rock and watches. And they'll take him and
cuts that guy's nose off. That was fucking brutal.
Yeah, when he runs away.
Yeah.
But then the uncle gets off the horse, takes off his helmet, and he sees his uncle. And of course, Ethan Hawke is just like, he's got an arrow like in his neck when he's delivering all these lines. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, like it's always you always listen to him, just kill him. You will be haunted by this day. You're not a real king and all this shit. You have blood. And then which is pretty cool. Like he has to hack him. Like in the movie, they always cut the head off. It's not easy to cut a head off.
Yeah,
he hits him a couple times. Motherfucking get off, head. And then the kid runs away. Then the guy Then you hear the uncle say, "Bring me the boy's head." And a lot of children killing in this, by the way.
Yeah.
that bothers you. This and Halo are really, really 2022's lead kid killers, you know.
Yeah. Oh god.
And so the guy chases him down and catches him, and he's like, tackles him. He's like, "Don't worry, boy, I'll make it slow." He's like gonna slit his throat, and I don't know what the kid does. He has had a knife or something.
Yeah.
Kind of quick motion up and like cuts his nose off.
Just like a swipe, like a left to right kind of swipe off his nose. Holy shit!
And he's got like a red skull looking thing. And then he goes back to the uncle and is like, "The boy is dead. In the water. He sunk like a rock, the boy did. He
has no nose. Just blood screaming out his face.
Yeah, he got me a little, but he's, you know.
You should see the other guy.
Yeah, I took care of him, though. Yeah, and then you could see he kind of follows the uncle and the rest of the guys who killed his dad. He's like hiding underneath huts and stuff, you know, traveling along. Really cool, like sweeping shots underneath. And you see the feet. And then he picks up his mom, you know, the queen. And he's like, "Hey, whatever. He's found a new queen!" Ah! And she's screaming, which we'll get back to later in the movie, but it was screaming to me. There's no way I could have been misstrued. And I was thinking, did I mishear that? Did they play it ambiguous for later? You know what I mean? Jesse thinks she does. She did hear a little bit of what they claimed later. I was like, I don't know. It seemed like a... Anyways.
Yeah, I think that... I mean, yeah, how do we dance around this? I think that what we perceive... Because I agree with you. I think that she was screaming for... But I think that was... Nah, I don't want to go into it right yet, but I think it was purposeful. I'm trying to dance around the spoilers here. But...
I dance around the spoiler to spoil it later. That's so weird. But anyways, so he leaves on the little boat, and that's a pretty cool scene. I can't remember any of their names. They're too fucking realistic Viking names.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, "I will save you, mother. I will kill you, Fjolnir. I will avenge you, father.
I will avenge you, father. I will save you, mother. I will kill you." Whatever the fuck his name is. It's over and over again. Yeah.
And he keeps going, and then he's found by some... I didn't know any of this. Isn't really delved into too much, but I had to read it. It was found by a Viking tribe and raised as a berserker. Just the crazy first warriors they send in, you know, and they are all like dogs. He's like, "Oh, I'm used to being a dog. Oh, I gotta do this." You know what I mean? And they go in there, and they're not supposed to be human until they've killed everyone. And so it shows some of that, and he's going in there, and they're just fucking up this village. And that's a pretty cool shit, dude.
That's like one... I mean, not that there's a benchmark for pillage scenes, but this is by far the best, like, fucking pillage scene I've ever seen. It was so fucking well done. Like, you just feel the chaos of it all. Like, people are just screaming, running around, women and children are flying around, people are dying. It's just like, holy shit. Yeah,
and a lot of children are dying, but he doesn't have any part of that. He's like the nice guy. You know what I mean? I only kill the big, strong men. And then as I walk past the woman getting beat and murdered, I don't like that, but I move on.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I found strange, were you surprised that there was no rape scene in this movie? I was surprised.
I was a little surprised, yeah. Especially in that scene. It's a Viking
movie.
Yeah, especially in that scene. Yeah.
In that scene, or in the scene with the queen. You know, the first time I found his new bride. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, for sure, there's been like a rape scene in every Viking thing I've ever seen, and they're uncomfortable and they're always in there. And I was like, for sure, because this guy's going so hard, Viking, he's showing everything, but he didn't do that. I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, all right, got through it.
It's definitely implied though, and some but you don't see anything, but it's implied.
Yeah. It reminds me of Always Sunny. It's implied. What do you mean it's implied? They, you mean they can't leave? No, they can leave, but it's implied they can't.
Oh my god!
But
Dennis is my favorite.
Yeah, because they show everything, man. Like they, to throw all the children in the house. You think they're doing this to like get them away from the chaos of what's going on. They're throwing all the children, separating the children because they don't hurt children. Because obviously, why wouldn't you just kill the children right there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought they're like separating them, and then they just fucking burn the house they're all in. I was like, holy shit,
like, Jesus, yeah.
It's like all you need is an alien at the front door. It's like fucking Halo again. And so we see some of that, and then he meets a mystic named Bjork.
Yeah.
Bjork? Who is Bjork? I know the name. Is she like a singer?
Yeah, she's like a popular 90s singer.
Yeah. Anyway, she's in this, and you can't tell who the hell it is because she's got this crazy ass costume, and tells him that your time is coming, you gotta get the master sword, yada yada yada, you gotta epic quest, there's a volcano involved. What more do you want, bitch? Okay. Yeah. And that was pretty ridiculous. I love that. The master sword you must achieve.
Yeah. The Night and Fire sword or some shit.
Yeah. It is weightless in its owner's hands, forged in steel from the gates of hell. And all that's his backstory. That was pretty cool. And so he finds out some more about going back, and so he finds out that his uncle, right, who's the king, got overthrown and has become like a farmer.
Yeah, he's like fled. Yeah.
In Iceland, or is it Iceland or Greenland? It was in Greenland, right? No, it was Iceland. Because
Iceland.
Because it was green. That's how I always remember. Iceland is the green one. Mm-hmm. Greenland is the icy one. They oppositely named us so people wouldn't come fuck with Iceland. No, it's Iceland. You don't want to come here, man.
It's all ice.
Yeah. It's not. It's actually very nice. But so he finds out there's some slaves they got. They're shipping over there to him, and so he fucking cuts his hair off and steams himself with the brand. And he's like, I'm gonna be a slave. I'm gonna get shipped over there, and I'm gonna infiltrate the fucking farm and all this shit. So he's heading back, which is ridiculous. This scene, the boat's already left with like 12 slaves on it, and he swims out to it. No one notices. It's like, shh. It just swims on the ocean.
His head's like, I don't know the way. I don't know how he was swimming with it. It was kind of a weird. I don't know how the fuck he was doing it.
It's very like breaststroke, where his arms are like to the side. And I was like, what the? Who swims like this?
They're a fucking dolphin. I'm like, what the shit?
And then he gets up to the boat and climbs in without anybody noticing.
Yeah.
It's very loud, sloshy, and wet. And he gets in and like sits behind a slave. And the slave's like, you know where we're going, right? What this is? Like, why would you? What's going on here? And then, anyways, she's like, you must pretend to be a sheep. I know you are a wolf.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like, shh. I'm like you. What do you mean? Yeah, I just thought that was ridiculous. Like, nobody noticed him.
Yeah, there's only like 8 of them. You'd be like,
yeah.
Hey, where'd you come from?
There's so little people on the boat.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more people.
Massive fucking beast of a man that just came from nowhere.
And he's the only one that's sopping wet.
Yeah.
Right? That's crazy. But they get there, and they get taken to that farm now. It's like a little, I don't know. It's like a farm. They got some sheeps and some stuff, and they're gardening things, peppers. I don't know. But it's the mom, the queen, that uncle, and then the uncle had a kid before he killed the dad, who was like 3, like in that first scene, right?
Yeah.
Or 2 or 3. He's
like a baby, yeah.
And so that one's like an adult, and then they had a kid of their own who's kind of like 10, maybe, I'd say, in that range. And so that's what's going on there. And all the slaves get taken over there, and he goes out to look at them, kind of like Owen Lars going to look at the droids. Line them up. Let me see. And then they like the slave, move TV. This one's got a bad motivator. Hey, what are you trying to pull? Yeah, no, got. But you line them up. He's like, these are terrible. Oh, they're sickly. Look at them. Oh, sell all of them. We don't want any of them. And then fucking Skarsgård is like, oh shit. Now I'm not gonna get my opportunity. They're not gonna buy me. And then so to make himself look good, he just kind of. What did he do? He goes, ah! like
yeah, he pushed somebody or something.
Fucks up the guy next to him real bad. Oh, this one has heart. You have heart, boy. I'll keep this one. We've kept worse. And anyways, he picked.
Yeah, I was confused because he was like, get rid of all of them, and he does that thing. He's like, all right, I'll keep all of them then, not just him, but I'll just keep everyone.
No. He didn't keep all of them. Like no, the son was like, well, after he said he'll keep that one, the son was like, well, mother says it was like, again, it's Star Wars. Mom says that we need a translator and look for someone that speaks Bocce, and we also need because it was like, we need someone for the dishes. Well, we need one male for the crops. We need another female for for the laundry. And then he's like, laundry, crops, and picks that's like three more.
That's right.
And one of them was that blonde. That he was talking to on the boat, that's a sorceress.
Yeah.
And, a Valkyrie. Her hair is fair and her skin is pale. Oh. It's like whatever that means. I don't know. But so they ended up picking like 4 of them. And they pick them out, and then they go back to the village, and he's kind of infiltrating it, and I don't know at what point I get confused, because this is the slow part for me, like becoming the slave and hanging out. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, the movie like, kind of meanders for a little bit in the middle.
What kind of revenge story is this? He just hang out? He's like, why wouldn't you just kill him? Every other movie is go there and kill him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but it does take some turns that I did like. Like, he starts sneaking out and preparing. That's some cool stuff. Sneaking out of the hut and going on his quest to get the Master Sword. That was fucking
that was
sweet,
cool.
Dude.
Yeah, I love the scene with the sorcerer because he goes and you find out that Dafoe's character has been replaced by this other sorcerer, but the sorcerer keeps William Dafoe's head. And there's this whole awesome scene in this cave where I think that's where he tells him where the sword is. But Dafoe starts talking again with the head of the void. I don't know. The whole thing was really well done and really fucking awesome.
Yeah, once again, that reminded me of Spider-Man. It was almost like when the mask is talking.
Right, right, yeah.
You're weak, Norman. It was the head. No.
Skarsgård.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And he explains that your uncle gouged out his eyes, cut out his tongue while he was still alive. And then he tries, and he's like talking to the head. Where it's like, don't bother talking to him. I didn't replace his ears. They also fell by your uncle's blade. Silence! Quit telling me the things that were cut off of my friend.
Yeah.
He's like, I will avenge you, friend. Friend, he made you eat mushroom water once in a cave. That was your buddy? He was a loyal friend to me.
Yeah. They're part of a wolf pack.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the Hangover. I was a wolf pack of one. But then I knew there was one more in my wolf pack.
Oh, shit.
Thanks, Alan. Thanks. But
oh man,
yeah, that was really cool because he like possesses the guy, and then it pans up, and you see the body kind of taking on that fucking Willem Dafoe. What he does, and hunches his back, and he's buff in this, man. Yeah. He's like jacked. He looks better than he did in Spider-Man. I was like, what the fuck? And he's jacked. And then they don't show the face of the new guy anymore, and you just hear, "Hello."
Yeah, he's like holding the. Is he holding the head? I think at that point or something.
That's something like that, or it's sitting in his lap in front of him or something.
Yeah.
something like that.
I think that's what it was. I think it was in his lap.
Oh man, that was cool. I kind of thought we'd get more of him from the previews, but he wasn't in it very much.
Yeah.
And then
so he goes. So, they tell him where the Master Sword is, and he goes and does that, and that was kind of a weird scene.
I liked that. That was fucking cool, man.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
He goes in that cave, and then there's like a old king sitting there with the sword in his hands. He's all dead, and he goes to take it out, and it's like a Bruce Lee, fucking the dragon. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Ancient like thing, and he stands up and says, "Oh shit!" and he has to fight this thing. He has to fight this thing to get the sword, and I thought it was cool. It's like, let the moonlight shine on you, boy. And then he like realizes there's this column of light in the middle of the room that it avoids and goes around. It's like a weird boss in Zelda. You know what I mean? You gotta find out the trick. And then once he does, he gets him in the light, and it kind of fucks him up, and he's able to kill him. And it obviously this is all a metaphor.
Yeah.
He didn't have to fight it.
Yeah.
But then because you see him actually take the sword from the sitting thing, and it just kind of. But I don't know. Did he really? He had to prove himself. It was cool. Either way, I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. Because I thought it would have been weird if I thought they're just okay. So they're just going with he had to fight this corpse. Like that's very supernatural.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, was it in his mind? He was fighting himself. You know what I mean? Like, wasn't? I was like, okay, good. I didn't want it to just be a corpse fight, and then play it as real.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so in his head, he cut the guy's head off and shoved it up his ass.
Oh yeah, I like that. And then no, he puts it down, and then you remember he adjusts it later. More up its ass. That was ridiculous. Asshead.
You could take the berserker out of Skarsgård or whatever this thing is.
Yeah. Now he has the sword, and he goes back, and he's finally. Oh, he's laying his plot with his pretty much his girlfriend, his love interest now, and there's some interesting stuff in there. Interesting that I thought we were actually going to get our rape scene with the uncle. He's peeking in and he sees that girl and the uncle's in there. He's like, I won't wake her. You know the one. Get up. He was ready to take you. And then she gets up, and then but your hair is fair, and something about her hair, and how is your hair so light, but you're a slave, and then she pulls up her dress, and you see her bush, and it's dark. I don't know if that was what the point was, right? It's like, that's fake hair. Look how dark I am. You don't want this. And then he's like, well, I still want it, or something. And then she rubs her period blood on his face, and you bastard. He's like, and then he's cool about it too. He's like, you son of a bitch. And he's like, put her away instead of beating her ass, And he's like, discipline her, or you both will die. And I was like, well, that's nice of you. Usually in this part of the movie, if that happened, and it'd be an instant kill.
Yeah, she'd be dead. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that didn't happen. So I just wanted to mention that because it's brought up a couple times later. Like he brings it up. I saw what you did, nice one. And then and then there's some little one-liner later about the only blood you will have is the blood of the menstruation on this day. Meaning that he wouldn't spill his blood or something. But anyways, but that's an essential piece because he sees, you see he's watching over her. He's starting to care about her now.
Yeah.
And caring about what happens. And but he finally tells her who he is and his plot. And then he's like, we start to haunt them tomorrow. And then he kills the prince's friends, and then fucking hangs him up in some fucking hangs him up in some fucking glyph or some shit.
Yeah, it's so rad.
Legs and butts and fucking shit spells out "fuck you" or some shit.
So gnarly, yeah.
I was like, holy shit, dude! These guys had nothing to do with it, bro.
Yeah,
these guys weren't even born when this happened, dog.
Well, it's awesome because they can't just kill them because they think it'll just be a man or something. But so they have to do some weird ass fucking off the wall shit to make them think there's some like something from the gods or some sorcery or whatever to fuck with them. So that was very well done. This weird body mural thing. It was disturbing.
Yeah. Demanded by the gods it is. And then they see it. Oh yeah, the fucking little bitch prince, dude. He's such a little bitch. Oh, don't look me in the eye, slave. Yeah. And then he's like, look what they did to my friends, my brave friends. And he's just freaking out, and his dad's like, shut up, boy. Anyways, yeah, we will find them. It was like, it was kind of like Ghostbusters, and then it was like, no human would stack books like this. Everyone's like, no human would kill like this. Yes, you're right. It's a spirit. You see Skarsgård. God damn it, it's a spirit, isn't it? That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, God.
I believe it is. I'm right there with you. And so, what's the next one he does? The next kill?
Oh, so because of that, I think the queen was like, we need to give the gods a sacrifice so they'll leave us alone.
Yeah.
And so they get this girl prepped, which I kind of was like kind of fucked up. Like, well, this poor innocent woman was all tied up, about ready to be murdered. And then you cut to, and how was it? So he killed somebody and put him on the slab, the stone slab, and he's all tied up with his like legs behind him and his wrists behind, arms behind him. He's all tied up and fucking bloody. And then above him is the woman who's gonna do the sacrifice. She's hanging upside down, and her naked, and her intestines are down and wrapped around the guy that's on the slab, and it's just like, what the fuck? So awesome.
It's a metaphor for life.
Some days you're the nail, and some days you're the hammer.
Yeah, and I like it. Oh my God, the demon did it again! The demon took his own sacrifice! Hopefully his bloodthirst is quenched! Skarsgård comes in.
Oh, God.
God damn it, wouldn't you know it? He did do it again! Fuck! It's like, it's kind of secretly...
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, and by this time, I think we should bring up... This is a pretty cool scene. They choose, like, the little bitch prince is like, do you know how to fight, slave? And he doesn't say anything. Slave!
Oh, yeah.
I asked you if you knew how to fight. And then he's like, yes, sir, right? Yeah, I do. And so he takes them, and you think there's going to be, they have lined up like 4 on each side. I'm like, oh, they're just fighting for sport. They're just going to make these 2 groups of 4, because they have like these clubs, go at each other and just beat each other to fucking death. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is not what I thought it was. This is fucking Quidditch.
Yeah.
They make them play like rugby Quidditch. It's ridiculous. And they have the mountain from Game of Thrones on the other team.
Yeah, I knew I recognized him somewhere. I was like, oh, it's a fucking mountain.
And they're playing, and these are all slaves. And apparently, when they play this game, it doesn't matter what happens. They play the game. You know what I mean? The game does not stop.
Yeah.
And because the whole team is like dead or knocked out, where it's just Skarsgård and the other guy, the mountain, and they're going at it and pickleballing or whatever the fuck they're doing. And the boy, the young prince, the one that's actually from Nicole Kidman and the uncle, runs out there. Like, first of all, like, to help win the game. Like, apparently in this game, it's okay if you just run on the field and cheat. Like, that counts as a win. So he's like, figures, I'm going to win this myself. He runs out there, and they're all yelling at him, no, don't do it. But they don't run after him, you know? They're just going, hey, don't do it, kid. Go poke an eye out. Just sit down. Let's watch how this plays out, though.
Maybe he'll score.
Yeah. He runs out there. You know what? These kids got moxie. Put him in. He's like Rowan Gardner. Like a rookie of the year moment.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I think he's ready for the big leagues. Let him go. And then he runs in there, and he gets like pushed down by the mountain. And Skarsgård's kind of far away, and he sees like the ball. You got to hit the ball with like kind of like this polo mallet, right? And it's a giant club, and he falls down, and the ball's like right next to his head, and they imply that this slave is so like stupid, and he's just like, ooh, game. You know,
Yeah.
he's like Bane, win game. He doesn't even understand that this is their child. No, he against me.
Yeah.
And so knocks him down, and the ball's right next to his head, and he's gonna fucking go back, and he's gonna swing and hit that ball through this kid's head to the fucking goal. And Skarsgård sees it and runs and fucks him up and stops him. So he kind of saves the day, saves the kid, and becomes a hero of the household. You saved my brother and proved your loyalty. When we get back, we will give you a woman of your choice. And he's like, even that fair-haired Nordic I saw you eyeing up, she could be yours. Father found her too spunky. Some shit like that. It would have been funny if you chose someone else. Actually, choose her.
Yeah, I love that he's still a prick about it too. Like he's such an asshole that he's not even grateful that he saved his brother's life. He's just like, yeah, whatever. We'll just have a woman, you fucking piece of shit. See you later.
Yeah, and it's like, you will be in charge of other slaves, and he's like, remember he said your slavely duties will be less laborious. So you only have to carry 20 boulders today instead of 40. And then I like how he said, but you will never be a free man. Don't ever think you will be free. Once born a slave, you're always a slave. Something like that. And so he goes back, and his life's a little different. And then, so like we were saying, the sacrifice death. Was there another one before the gets into the family? Oh, we got to say, here's where the plot twist.
Oh yeah. The spoiler I wouldn't spoil earlier.
Yeah, the spoiler we wouldn't spoil earlier. You guys ready now? So he goes and he hides in the room, and his mom comes in, and he gets behind the. He's like hiding in the room and shit. And he puts the sword to her neck. I think to keep her from screaming. And then what did she say? She has some weird line about the sword.
Oh, your sword's so big, or some sort of your sword's so long, or something like that.
Your sword's so long. Stop with your jest, woman.
You whore.
And he talks to her and lets her. I am your son. She's like, you live. He's like, I come to get my revenge and to save you. And she's like, I don't need saving. He's like, your father was a terrible. And it starts going in, and he's like, oh, well, hold on, what? And it's like, I never wanted to be with your father. I chose to be with your uncle. And like, did you think I was always a queen? I was a slave like you. And shows him the little burn mark, and he's no, it's impossible. And then she goes in saying that I begged your uncle to kill him. I begged him and kissed his hand. And then and he's like, no, but what about me? And she's like, I approved of his killing and yours. And like, she ordered him to kill the kid too.
Yeah.
And then it gets very fucking intense, and it's fucking crazy. I was like, what? Plot twist, motherfucker. Like, she never fucking. So what's the revenge for? God dang. And then it makes you feel more for the uncle too, like,
yes,
because she was a slave and raped, and she was forced to have that first kid, and so she hated him, the kid, even because it just reminds her, and she wanted them both gone. So then you feel more for the uncle, like, okay, and then you still feel for him because he did love his dad. And so I always makes a cool dynamic when the bad guy's relatable.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think it does like two things for me. Like when he walks in that room, I could just see the rest of the movie, or at least the next 30 minutes. Like, okay, they're gonna talk. She's gonna be like, "Oh my God, you're here," and then she's gonna play along with their little scheme and double cross him. And then when that happens, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I did not see that coming at all. And like, yeah, I agree with what you say. Like when you get this information, it does make the uncle a sympathetic character, and just their whole family dynamic. They were trying to escape this fucking awful situation in this kingdom with this guy that they don't even like, to have a better life, more or less. I mean, I guess they did get overruled and forced out, but and then it kind of just makes Skarsgård in a way the villain of the movie, more or less, because you're just like, ooh, and you're still gonna go along with this. This is kind of crazy. So I like that a lot. I like that turn quite a bit. I was like, how the fuck is he gonna get out of this now? If she knows that he is who he is and he's there, like, holy shit.
That was really cool. It was like an M. Night Shyamalan type moment, which you don't see in these kind of revenge. My dad, the king, was killed movies. You know what I mean? So that was super refreshing, and it got really creepy there for a minute because you never know how to read Nicole Kidman in this, because then at one point she's like, "You will kill your uncle and kill my son, and then I will become your bride."
Oh yeah, I was like, what the
fuck? Is she mean? Is she like? Does she mean this? Does she want that to happen now? Because then she kisses him and shit. I was like, oh damn, what the fuck's going on? But I think that was just her being crazy, like she always is. Because then by the end of it, it seems like she fucking hates him and wants him to die.
Yeah, 100%.
And she gets kind of Willem Dafoe in that scene. Ah!
Yeah, she like cackles as the camera's like kind of going away.
Oh yeah, and it's like that's what we were talking about. The spoiler where it's like, he's like, but I saw you taken away by him,
right, yeah.
and you were screaming. I wasn't screaming. I was laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I watched it too. I think you were screaming.
Yeah, I think she was screaming. What I was trying to get at earlier is I think she was screaming. I think they were just putting on a show. That's my guess.
Yeah, I think that too. But I was like, what's the point of the show? They know that he killed the king. Doesn't matter if the queen was part of the plot. You know what I mean? Because this happens every fucking regime change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like the villagers are like, we don't respect your rule. You murdered him the wrong way. There's a right and a wrong way to do this.
Well, I couldn't remember. Is she over someone's shoulder? Is she being carried? I don't remember.
He has her.
That's right.
When he walks away with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I definitely heard screaming.
She was kicking and screaming for sure.
And maybe it was ambiguous enough it was a laugh, because Jesse's like, yeah, I think she was laughing. I was like, oh. If she was laughing, it was like,
it was the same cackle in that cabin.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdo.
So then after that, he goes and kills the older prince.
Yeah.
On his way out, he starts which is fucked up. He had nothing to do with this. He was 3 years old when this happened. Nothing to do with it. He's kind of an asshole now, but he was born to the lap of luxury. What do you expect? He's not the nicest guy. So, and he's sleeping, and he's like, I will take your life. Plunges it in his stomach while he's asleep, and then I think he kind of wakes up and he kind of moves it up to his chest. And, give me another one there.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, he takes his fucking heart. It's like, oh god,
hardcore.
And then the uncle finds the body, and that's a pretty emotional scene. Like, he's super sad. He's like, sees him, and he's like, he's taken my son's heart. No. And then yeah. So what happens after that? The mom lets him know, no, it's my son. It's not a demon. Are you sure? He still doesn't quite believe it. He's like, no, we killed him as a boy. And then it kind of shows the no-nose guy who's still around. He's like, sure did. We sure killed him, man. I still think it's a demon myself. Because there's absolutely no way it could be that kid. Nope. Couldn't be. Couldn't be him. And
I don't remember when was the shroom night. At some point, him and the girl, they like put shrooms in the soup or the water, and everyone's all drugged out. And I think he goes and kills the no-nose guy at some point, because I remember him tripping out when he's like sitting on his post, and then Skarsgård like confronts him, and he's like,
I feel like that was the day. I feel like that was right before the sacrifice, right? Because all that happened, and they're like, everyone's being possessed. We need to make a sacrifice. They were all, I think that's the way that happened. But yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, don't eat the soup tonight. And then does he? Is that when he killed the no nose guy?
I think so. He definitely confronts him at some point because I remember him tripping out and the Skarsgård standing there over him. I'm just
I
assuming
feel
he
like it
did,
was.
but
I feel like it was more towards the end though of the movie when he's like he confronts him. He says, "Oh, once with his." Oh yeah, he's like the puppy took your nose. He's
oh
like,
yeah.
that puppy was me. And then he like puts the sword to his like no nose area, just slowly slides it in like a sheath.
Oh, that's right. That's
Just
when he. Okay, yeah. So I'm getting ahead. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So going back to what you were saying, we left off with the uncle finding the son dead, and he starts offing slaves, and he gets to
yeah.
the white haired blonde Anya Taylor
No,
Joy.
he has a really cool because you feel for him, but then
Yeah,
then he does things like this and you don't because
yeah.
like he's like lining them up. One of them knows something. One of you will tell me what you know, or all of you will die. And then he goes like to the first one and slits his throat. Didn't even ask him anything. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't care what he knew or didn't know. And
Jesus.
it's like know that I'm just going to kill you until one of you. Then it's like okay, now you see more evil. You know what I mean?
Now I see
He's
your
like, I don't
son gets
care.
it.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care if he was a part of this or not.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, then
yeah, go ahead.
then he gets to the white haired gal, and then Skarsgård shows up in the hills, and he's like, "I got your son's heart. Come and get it." And then she
No,
escapes.
he says like, I'll give you your son's heart and
Oh yeah, in exchange. That's right.
for her life,
Yeah.
and she just kind of distracts him enough that she gets to run away,
Hmm.
and then you think this is gonna be the end of the movie right here. He's just gonna fight everybody because they all go over there and he starts whooping ass, and then unceremoniously the tides change and he gets his ass beat. It's like, wait a minute, it's just by these guys? Like you were just whooping.
Yeah, I don't remember if it's because he didn't even have his sword like he was still in this cover. He's just like hitting him with it. I'm like, why aren't you taking
Yeah.
the sword out? Like, is it
I
just
don't-
for the uncle? I'm not really sure, but I don't know if it was on
You know
purpose
what?
that he got captured.
I know. I was thinking that too, and now I remember. It's like he can't because remember she's like, why don't you just go kill him? A couple points in the movie, and he's like, I can't. This movie's all about destiny, really,
Yeah, yeah.
because really is what it revolves around. It's like he was destined to do this, and he has to do it, even if he doesn't want to take the revenge anymore. It's part of his destiny and this Viking gods thing, and that's the way it has to go in order to like get to Valhalla and do all these things, right?
Hmm.
You have to, and it's already written. And is I think William Defoe. It doesn't matter, you know, what you do, and it's like don't ever be scared in battle. It's like your destiny is already written, and so nothing you do can ever change that. Being scared, being not, being brave, and so his destiny. Remember, was told to him. His path is he was going to kill him on a fiery. I forget what they called it. A red mountaintop, a volcano is what they're
Hmm.
describing. And he knows that that's not where he's at, so he couldn't kill him until he was at that place, Mustafar, at the fucking
Yeah.
end. But and so I that's what I got. Like he didn't unsheath his sword because he can't. This is not time for him to kill everybody, so he's
Hmm.
just fighting, and he knows that. So that was kind of interesting. But then he gets his ass whooped and tortured, and he's all strung up and just beat to a pulp. And then classic villain mistake. He just didn't kill him when he could.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get the heart. And then there's some pretty cool stuff. So, like his dad keeps showing up as like a raven and stuff, and like and a wolf or this little wolf cub keeps coming and helping him. And the ravens show up again, like he's hanging from the rafters and he's all beat, and then one raven comes in, and he's like, "Hey, friend." And I thought that was
Hey, Dad.
I thought I thought that was pretty cool. Like, look, his dad cares. Hey,
Yeah.
that looks like it stings, son. And then all the other ravens come and they start pecking at the rope and free him. That was really cool. Scene.
Yeah, I thought that was just an interesting, just easy way to get him undone instead of this weird. He lifts his legs up and does this weird, contorts his shoulder and undoes it. It's like, no, just a couple ravens pick at it and he's down. It's like, hell yeah.
That was pretty cool. And then what the father go to do?
Oh, the burial ceremony for
Yeah,
his son.
for his son, and then he had to murder some people.
Yeah, they make the youngest excuse me. They make the youngest kid chop off a horse's head or something.
No, that was a human head.
I thought it was a horse.
I was
I
pretty.
guess that kid probably can't chop a fucking horse's head off, but it seemed like they
I
killed an
was.
animal.
I was pretty damn sure that was a human, and that's why it was so crazy.
Hmm.
And and they also killed the chick singing. It's like singing the
Oh
nice
yeah.
song, and it's like, why do we gotta kill all these people? This is how funerals go. It's at least 4 bodies every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, he chopped off a human head. I'm pretty sure, and then they like fucking get the blood, and sprinkle it and all this shit.
And
Because
then they
he's
go
the
back
next.
to kill Skarsgård, and then he's
Yeah,
he's
and then they go
gone.
back and he's going, demon! Damn it, that demon again! But yeah, then Skarsgård. What happens at that point? I'm kind of lost.
He has like I don't know, like a vision of him being led by a Valkyrie charging on a horse, and then he wakes up in like a hot springs with the white-haired gal, and I think he even straight up asks her if she's a Valkyrie, and she denies it, but and then they basically just make a plan to just say fuck the revenge, let's go start a life together, and then they get on this boat to leave Iceland, and he finds out that she is pregnant. And then he's like, okay, well, I just fucked my whole uncle's life up, and there's no way in hell he's not going to come back for revenge. So I'm just going to go back and kill him so that he doesn't interfere with our life.
Yeah, and he has a vision, like, that tree. It has all the dead kings.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has a vision of his 2 like sons in the tree, so dead. And so he's like, oh no. Yeah. So yeah, he has to go back and makes his bride leave on the boat, and once again he's got to swim back. It's like
It's dolphin swim.
20 miles in the ocean. And gets back there. And how do they get to the fucking volcano top to fight? I don't remember.
So this is where I was getting ahead of myself. So he gets back to the village and just creates fucking havoc. This is where he kills the guy with no nose, and then he goes.
A brutal one.
That was brutal. And then he goes into his mom's room, and she attacks him, and he kills her, and then the son attacks him, like jumps on his back and whack, 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 whack.
Yeah, he's like Chucky, dude.
Yeah.
Ow!
You fucking bitch! And then he it's like simultaneously throws him off, but then slices him with his sword and kills the son. I mean, it was by accident, but I think he was just trying to throw him off. Maybe not. Maybe he was purposely like, get the fuck off me. And then the uncle comes in and he's just like devastated. Like, I'm looking, and he picks up his boy, and then he drags his wife out. And he's like, I'll meet you at the gates of hell. And then that's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll meet you at the gates of hell. And then Nordic text, the gates of hell. And then I'm like, but before, a few moments later,
Yeah.
at the gates of hell. Well, we're here. But yeah. So now they're on Mustafar, and it's literally Mustafar. It's just fucking dark, and I think they're naked.
They're naked, yeah.
Because they keep them shadowed. It's just like an epic naked battle. No armor, dongs flying, and swords swishing, and they're fighting. And Skarsgård's pretty wounded from all these things that have happened. He's been stabbed like 15 times in the back. He got like shanked by his mom too. And they're fighting, and he gets a gnarly hit on the arm. And I like how it's realistic, It's like it didn't cut off his arm. It's just hit him really hard with the sword. And it's really
like a big chunk out, yeah.
Deep tissue cut, and you could see all the, it's just like a piece missing out of his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And so he can barely swing his arm, and at that point you think he can't do anything. He's just like, waiting for the death blow, but then he gets I got my second wind. And he
his war cry.
Yeah, and he starts going at him, and there's a nice little exchange and cool effect of like the silhouettes against the lava, and
Mm-hmm.
then what is it? You get the epic oh yeah, like simultaneous like shadows and as then you see they do both freeze frame and you see the head off the uncle just fucking fall off.
Yeah.
And they do make it ambiguous. I like Jesse pointed it out. I knew what had happened right when it happened. It wasn't ambiguous for me, but since it's a shadow, you can't tell the depth.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to make you maybe think that he was mid swing on him, and like so the sword is behind him when he gets his head cut off, but it's through him,
Mm-hmm.
and because his head falls off, and then he lets go of the sword, and the body collapses, and Skarsgård's still there with the sword in his chest. So you realize that it's not behind him; it's through him.
Yeah.
And so it was a fucking mute, the old mute. But he lived longer because he kept his head. So he's like, I win. Ah! Oh, yeah. Jesse teared up and cried on that. I was like, oh, come on, dude. You didn't see this coming? I guess the guy's going to die. Okay?
Yeah, the moment you kill a woman and child, the chances are the movie's probably not going to make you live through that. Like, you're dead.
Yeah. And it was a pretty cool moment where he just gets galloped away to Valhalla.
Yeah.
Oh, and before he dies, he gets a vision of his wife and that his kids were born, and says, "We are safe. The thread continues. You may leave."
Yeah.
And then the Northman.
Directed by Vegas.
Yeah. Brought to you by Pepsi Frito-Lay. Have you had a Frito-Lay today? And that was cool because it's all about destiny, and it's actually like he did them, even going through with his revenge plot, did them a favor and helped them complete their destiny. Mm-hmm. So everyone won because you can't get to Valhalla or heaven without being slain by the sword. If you die naturally, you don't go.
Yeah.
So that's they need to. And so by him carrying out his revenge plot, he was able to get them to Valhalla as well, because like the way their life was panning out, they were just going to die old farmers, and they weren't going to get there. Mm-hmm. But now, because of this destiny fulfilled, the sons, the mom, the uncle will all be together, and him and his father will be together. So it's like I like how that kind of played out. So I was telling Jesse about that. It's like, yeah, it's like the way their life turned. He made them able to get to their destination. Probably not the way they wanted to, but
yeah,
if they would have just lived out their lives, it wouldn't have happened. So everybody got to go to Valhalla.
Pretty trippy.
Yeah, I really liked it. So final thoughts. I really enjoyed it. I thought it meandered a little bit in the first becoming a slave sections, but that was about it. Way more trippy and indie and different than you might think for just watching the trailer. I mean you probably this guy, so you were prepared for all that. But people that just see the trailer, it looks like a crazy Braveheart from the trailer. It's just like seems like all action all the time, and it did have a good amount of action. Yeah, I really loved it, and it makes me want to see his other films even more. I wanted to see him before, but now I definitely want to see him and see what's up with that. So the score I had in my mind walking out is, I think, still the same after we talk. Sometimes my score changes when I think about it, and I get to hear my thoughts out loud and hear your thoughts. But this time, it's pretty much exactly what I walked out of the theater thinking, and that's 8.6.
Nice.
Really enjoyed it. 8.6.
Yeah, so I had, like I said earlier, I had pretty high expectations. I don't think they were quite met. I think I'm actually a little lower on this one than you are. I feel like from a technical standpoint, the cinematography, the acting, the set designs, the costume, like the score is also a really good score. Everything on a technical level was fucking amazing. But the story, I didn't feel like it was that engaging. I think it gets a little more engaging after the Nicole Kidman turn, but everything up to that, I was just kind of like, like it was entertaining, but I wasn't like invested in this character at all. So that was kind of disappointing. I was surprised in a good way how much like magic and sorcery was in this. When you think about Vikings, I don't think about that at all, but apparently that's a thing.
Yeah.
But I just don't think about like magic and sorcery in like a Viking type of setting. So that was kind of refreshing and a different take on. I mean, I haven't seen any other Viking shows. I think like Vikings right now are kind of like the new zombies. I feel like there's just Viking shit everywhere on Netflix and Amazon.
We're the
And
new zombies.
yeah, it's like you're not going to get rid of Viking stories for the next 10 years, so buckle in. Um,
uh,
so I think The Lighthouse is still my favorite of his. Um, I think this may be better than The Witch. The Witch is still good, but anyways, long story short, I thought from a technical standpoint it was amazing. From a story standpoint, I don't know if it quite grabbed its hooks into me.
but then you're talking about the Lighthouse, and you just said has no plot at all, and you're like, that one's that one's
right,
better.
but yeah, but there's something unique about that one of like I don't know, like there is no plot, but I'm invested in the characters, I guess. Like there's nothing that they're really doing. I mean, they're taking care of a lighthouse, and I mean, I don't want to spoil shit, but I'm invested in the characters and what they learn and what they're doing, versus the Northman, which is like this guy who just screams a lot and wants revenge for his dad. I don't know. It's a plot I've seen a million times before. It's done differently enough to where I was kind of entertained, but I think I'm really hung up on what you were saying, which is that it kind of drags a little bit once it becomes a slave. Maybe that's what I'm hung up on, but there was just definitely a large portion of this movie where I wasn't really invested in what was going on. But I still enjoy it. It's still great for his first studio film. He kind of still kept it kind of indie and weird, which is I appreciate it. I thought it was going to be more of an action movie, like you were saying, like he was maybe going to do something kind of outside of his wheelhouse, but he kind of kept in it.
Yeah.
But apparently, there's some kind of tidbits. I don't know if you saw this, but there's an interview he did, and he basically said post production was on this movie was the worst experience he's ever had in his life, and he kind of goes into like the studio stuff, and they're like,
Yeah, they're trying to action it up.
He said that he didn't have final cut of the movie. He typically he had final cut over The Lighthouse and The Witch. He's like, I knew that going in. We were like, what's cool about him is he's humble, but he's also honest, because he's like, we already knew that we going into the Northman that we didn't have final cut, but I just didn't really think about it. But then when we got to it, it was just like kind of a pain in the ass. So basically, why it was a pain in the ass is that test screenings, a lot of the audience didn't understand the Skarsgård's motivations and the dialect. And then they also got studio notes, but they were already in post production. So what they had to do was ADR a bunch of lines and put them over the pre-existing. So they had to write dialogue that matched the mouth of the words, and so that's why he said it was a complete nightmare, because it took him like I don't know how long to like write dialogue that's different but matches what they're saying, to make it a little easier for audiences to understand what the motivations were. So I thought that was kind of fascinating. I'll link the interview in our Facebook chat, and I'll link it in this video. Just if anyone who wants to check it out, it's a pretty good interview. All that being said, I think it's an 8.2. I think it's really enjoyable. I don't think it's his best, but I think everyone should check it out, especially if you're into Vikings. I think you're gonna have a good time with it, or maybe you won't. I don't know. I saw a lot of Rotten Tomatoes. Boring. I walked out 10 minutes in, like a lot of that shit. But I think it's worth watching, and I recommend it to people who are interested in this kind of thing.
That's weird. I've seen a lot of glowing reviews, and most of the reviews by like people I've seen them calling it his best film. So that's interesting that you still like The Lighthouse. And yeah, from what I heard about the the studio trying to step in, is that he fought and was able to keep a lot of the stuff he wanted, and then during test screenings, they like some of the stuff that he was leaning towards tested better, and so like, oh, okay, well, and so they kind of compromised on a lot of it because it does. I don't know his other work, right?
Yeah.
But this does feel like he probably had a lot of say because it's very indie, weird kind of.
100%.
You know what I mean? So I don't feel just from watching it, I don't feel like the studio took over. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know him, but it feels like if he's a weird indie guy, then he definitely put some of that on screen, a lot of it on screen.
100%.
So it's not like they took over and Michael Bay'd his movie.
No,
you know what I mean?
no, he doesn't even say that either. He was just like, yeah, I mean, notes are good. You know, I got studio notes, I got it. Like, these are good, but, you know, because of those, I had to basically ADR a bunch of shit that, you know, it was just kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah,
you're saying he didn't get final cut, and I was like, that's surprising. I would have thought like this was the way he wanted it to end up because it's very indie sensibility.
Mm-hmm. Nope, he did not get final cut. They I'm assuming they have to prove, you know, the things that he does, and so they must have gone back and forth on a lot of shit.
Yeah. Once again, Kathleen Kennedy got the final cut. Listen, if you want it to be good, let me do it. I know what the people want.
Oh God, no.
Anyways, yeah, 8.6, 8.2. So really good movie. Go check it out, man. It's a good entry point to this guy's work, and it's a good. I think if you already are aware of his work, it's a good movie for you too. So it works for everybody. Yeah, sweet, man. So please like and subscribe. Please listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, always here on YouTube. We enjoy having you. Thanks for letting us into your homes, your phones, and your ears. And until the next Vs, we thank you and say peace.
Peace.
Later.